We're back. Happy, thriving Thursday. Hey, I want to say thank you to all the ones that have been committed and have followed us, that have followed us on YouTube. I just want to encourage you to share. Look, as much as you can, share these videos, share our group page, share. What our desire is to build a community of people that are helping each other, building each other up, that may be going through challenges, and we may be able to help them through it. So as much as you can, share this page, share the group, invite people to come, and then share these videos. Let people know that we're out there. So today is a Thriving Thursday. Now, I am so excited about being here once more with my brother-in-law, Owen Adderley. He's from Exuma, Bahamas. And last time we were talking about the generations and how to influence the generation. This time we're going to pick up on that conversation and take it at a little bit of a different angle. We talked about last time his overcoming story and how he kind of went through life and got to a point to where he was like, I can't live this life anymore. We delve into a little bit about his relationship with his father and how he searched out mentors. So I'm excited about this time. But before we get into this, I want to say this. Thriving Thursday is all about thriving in relationships. Okay, well, how do you thrive in a relationship and not just survive? One thing that I've learned is that when you have friendships, when you have other relationships, a mom, dad, sister, brother, cousins, uncles, nephew, second cousins on the fifth side, all of those types of relationships. Sometimes you have situations where you have conflict or issues or problems. Now, one of the things that I found is that nowadays, instead of delving in and addressing the issue, people will just back up from you. Not talk to you anymore. You don't even know what happened. Trying to figure out people have gotten into ghosting. Now, that's not a dating term. That's just not a dating term now. It's a friendship term. It's a mom term. It's a dad term. People are ghosting people all the time. So if you really care about a person, now is the time to thrive and lean in. Now, sometimes it's very uncomfortable when you're dealing with a situation and you have to confront. Oh my gosh, those are hard words to say. We have to confront it. If somebody hurt our feelings, if somebody did something that kind of ticked us off a little bit or made us angry, lean in, ask questions. Say, hey, what did you mean by that? Or, hey, can we chat about this? Or, hey, can we have a conversation? Can we sit down and talk? Because this relationship means a lot to me and I really want to get on the same page. So instead of running away, lean in and thrive. All right. So we are going to introduce Owen once more. So, hey, Owen, how are you?
Yeah,
Good, good. What'd you say?
happy to be back with you.
Yeah, y'all like that accent, don't you? I do too. Um, yeah, I'm glad you're back. Hey, for those that didn't get to watch with us, Owen, tell us just a little bit about you, like your little bit of your background and your family and kind of what you do there in Exuma, Bahamas.
All right. Well, I was raised in Mount Thompson, went to the local primary school in Mount Thompson, the high school in Exuma. Mount Thompson, Exuma, Bahamas, sorry.
Yes.
Uh, 35 years old, married, one child. Pretty much, I'm a drywall subcontractor. I work construction, self-employed.
So, Owen, the last thing that you shared on your heart, I thought that was phenomenal. You talked a little bit about being able to impart into the next generation, into the generation behind you, so that the Bahamian economy can be boosted. Because right now, you guys are kind of in a little bit of an interesting situation with people coming in and purchasing things and kind of running businesses there. Can you talk a little bit about that so that our viewers can kind of know what's going on?
And like I was saying, it's like there's not many young or the young generation like they hungry for trade and skills and things. They come out of school, they really ain't nothing. They don't have no excuse why they can't go further their education. They just don't care to go do it all. They go on a job site, they don't care like, well, let me buy some tools, let me pick up this trade. They just spend their time, they pass their time, they count their days. You know what I mean? Like before, I mean, when I was growing up, people was glad to try and learn something and get ahead. Like, you know what I mean? Most of the guys, they just want to just breeze through life. Think it's just gonna be a breeze. You know what I mean? Because they're young, they don't understand. Like, when you get so far down, your health start deteriorating, this start happening, you can't even help yourself. You can't help nobody around you. So you got to be able to try and do that from you young. Try to do something with yourself rather than just pass time on the blocks and
What do you mean by passing time on the blocks? Because for the people that don't know what that means.
rather than just chilling, just hanging out,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Bombing,
Yeah.
stuff like that, just watching your time pass you by.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you see them going to college, or what are they doing? I mean, what are the young guys doing now?
Not so much. I mean, some are still doing it now. I mean, very few still doing it, but it ain't like so much that children or parents so interested in their children education. Like because plenty young people having children too. Plenty young people having children, and they even ain't finished growing up and getting the level of maturity, and now they have to bring up this whole child, and you know what I mean, they don't even know what to instill in them because they didn't take the time, or someone didn't take the time with them, and so they just losing. So that's part of why plenty of them don't even have no care or they don't understand the qualities you need to acquire in life to do certain things. Or I mean, they sit back and talk with what they gonna do, but plenty of people never really take action. Plenty of them don't take action no more. They want to do and they sit by and that influence and things just cause them just to don't make no moves.
Hmm.
I'm trying
So
to think.
the last time we were on with Pastor Garth, he was talking about like babies having babies. Um, the dynamic of the Bahamas has changed, right, to a certain extent, because your mom had your grandparents as an influence, right, to help to jump in and to be a part of you guys' life as she was doing whatever she needed to do to help make sure that you guys had what you needed. Um, do you still see that now? Or is the family like together like it used to be to really help with raising the kids now? Or is it just individual family units that are trying to raise kids?
Well, for my family, like my mother and her children and my her brothers and sisters, and then we still have that family togetherness, that bond, help with each other, and yeah, we still have that. Because my grandmother, I mean, my mother is not a grandmother, so she she'll take her heart out to give to her grandchildren.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, but it's still the fact that she ain't so much involved in their life like our grandparents was in ours, but you know what I mean? Because the times change and everybody more protective of their own children and thing now too. But still, she's still poured herself to her grandchildren.
Hmm.
I think even more than she would have done with us.
Yeah. So you said that people are more protective. Why would they be more protective?
Like, when I was growing up, someone in the community, if I did something wrong, someone in the community could have chastised me, could have whooped me, could have, you know what I mean? And I would have been scared for Grammy them or for me to hear that someone had to chastise me out there in the community. 'Cause that's another one I can get from them. If someone had to deal with me, you understand? But
Yeah.
nowadays, the way people getting now, if you simply talk to their child too hard, it's a problem. You see what they say? It's a problem. Even if they don't say it right there, and you'll see the people don't really want you to like how they used to say it takes a community to grow up a child. Yeah, it ain't that way no more. Some people still have it in them, but plenty of people lost it. You know.
Do you think it was because just times changing, or older people dying off and not knowing the values?
I think time has changed, is correct. See, but not so much. It's okay for things to change, but not so much to change whereas you don't even make an effort for these things that we grew up on. I don't think it should be so bad that you don't even make that effort. Like, come on, back then, like a child word wasn't to be taken over a grown-up's word. Now, in some cases, I think say grown-ups was always perfect. Sometimes they used to lie. Sometimes they used to tell their lies, and I made children get resentful towards them too. But
Yeah.
in most cases, children knew they was doing wrong and things. So if I know I was doing wrong, I ain't trying to defend nothing. If I get back to them, I ain't trying to explain myself. I just try to explain myself, but you know what I mean? But then some children lie too. I have a serious respect for my mother. I didn't like it when I was growing up. Certain people, if you come and say something about their children, even if they wasn't there, they don't know what's going on. They can say, "Not my child, not him, not him. It wasn't him, not my mother." My mother, she ain't sparing for it. If she was there, now if she was there and you was home, he ain't been nowhere, this and that. If she wasn't there, she ain't sparing. She ain't saying yeah, it's him. She ain't saying no, it ain't him. So whatever it is, you can explain yourself and you can face it. Yeah, you just can get away with nothing.
Yeah.
That make me a better person, you know?
Yeah. I love my mother-in-law. I'm just gonna tell you that. She's
Yeah.
amazing. She's the best mother-in-law a person could have.
I'm looking at her in the background with your video.
Yeah. That's a picture of her right there. That's my
Yeah,
mother-in-law. Yeah. I
yeah.
love my mother-in-law. I love my mother too, but I love my mother-in-law. Look, I told Marcus, I was like, if this don't work out, I'ma still call my mother-in-law.
She loves you too. Anyway.
No offense, but she's amazing. Don't get jealous. I was blessed.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it. So, Owen, just being around, just kind of hearing some things, just as I've been around the family, I've heard, talked to different people from the Bahamas. One of the things that I've heard a lot of is that the examples or the people that you should have looked up to as an example were not examples. They were the people that you were looking up to, that you felt like had the right answers or had the right path to life. You later found out that they were not living lives that were up to the standard of what they were sharing.
They had their own flaws as well.
Yeah, they had their own flaws. Can you tell me, like, because I know Marcus says that you're pretty influential on the island. Like, people listen to you. You said you had some little bit of reputation. Would you say, just in talking and encountering people, that has affected the generation now?
Yes, it have effects. It have positive effects. It have negative effects.
Okay.
Right. Like for me, like told you, I used to watch my daddy do things, same things I wouldn't do because I see the effects of what it caused. I get to see the effects from it. Things that he did that I don't agree with. I learned from that and I try not to. Simple as my grandfather. He used to try and show us the right way. Try and be upstanding in front of us and all that. But as we grow up, we got to find out things. You got to learn things, and things wasn't so pretty. You know what I mean? The final he have flaws too. You know what I mean? And these things was happened to me. Like I said, for me, I grew to understand that like people have flaws, so I try not to judge or hold on to anything or fill up anything because of this or that. You know what I mean? But we all know right from wrong. And it wasn't only him, it was plenty. There's plenty of the grandfathers and things then. So the grandfathers, they had their ways, and the sons knew that. The grandchildren didn't know that. The children knew that, but we wasn't old enough to know these things yet. So some of the sons start taking the same trend. And then even some of the grandsons it fall onto, but some are in the crack, some fall through the crack. And, you know what I mean? And these that who fall through the crack, they could reach out to other people, different generations, and you know what I mean? Try and show them that, yeah, they did this. It wasn't okay. They got away with it. It wasn't okay, but that don't mean you must try it. And you know what I mean? Try to defer from that. There's certain things saying, right, if you will live your life this way, you live it this way. You know what I mean? And be true. You got to be true to more than just the people you're dealing with. You got to be true to yourself. But you have to give account for the people that you're dealing with too. You're telling them certain things and you're doing other things. You have to give account for that.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, to have somebody that should be doing the right thing and then telling you something different, you do kind of fall into that trend. I like parents say, do as I say and not as I do.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's not beneficial.
But I mean, if you can be doing things, you have to be open about that too. You know what I mean? You can't make it seem like you all is perfect, and then one day I can find out you ain't perfect. Then I can look at you different. Then I can think about everything about life different. And that's the influence we have on our children. I mean, just the best thing is to try and be open still, because you ain't saving them by hiding nothing from them. You ain't saving them by hiding nothing from them.
Do you feel like your kids know more than they actually kind of let on to?
Of course, kids open up to way more things than we were. They know way more things. Like conversations I wouldn't have had with my dad at Marco's age, he'll come to me with things he'll say to me. Like, it seems so mature, and I'd be like, this is an 11-year-old boy, like, where you coming from? I mean, he's 11 now, but as he came up, like, he have a lot of confidence in what he need to say. I think I had a lot to do with that because I try and talk to them about this. You don't keep things bottled up, or if I doing something wrong, tell me how you feel with it. Because I can tell you, I can tell you. We just trying to build a relationship. I try to be open with them about life still because, like I say, on our last talk, we ain't the only influence that our children get. So when they are outside, sometimes, as much as you try and you control that, there can come a point in their life that they can be out your sight, they can be out of your grasp. They
Yeah.
can be doing what they want to do anyway. They can be trying
Hmm.
things, doing things. You can't make them feel like it just can be one pretty world. Okay? You gotta let them know what they about to face and all that. And so not only concentrate on you, you're already here, you're already making your way in life. You gotta make sure they set.
Yeah.
Not only your kids, the generate people around them, the generation around them. As much as you could reach out to them, you try and reach out to them too. Because
Yeah.
ain't everybody got somebody to talk to them or, you know what I mean, to guide them through.
So what made you different? I mean, to what made you change? I mean, what made you feel like it was so important to invest in your son? What was it? Did you see it? Did somebody tell you about it? What made you take a
Man,
different approach?
I live it. I mean, I live it. Like I said, we didn't have that father to, you know what I mean? The only thing we know from our father is to try to be strong, be this type of man. At least our grandfather try to be this type of man. Like nothing could penetrate you or this or that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Must always be rough and hard and you know what I mean. And it was worse with my father them after my grandfather them. They feel you're supposed to just be rough with boys all the time, especially boys. You don't be rough with boys all the time. You be rough with boys, yes, but not all the time. There come a time when you're supposed to be easy with them.
Hmm.
You know the difference. Sometimes when you be rough with them, certain things you be rough with them, but you breaking them for the rest of their life, breaking them for the rest of their life.
Oh, and I want to ask you this question. Um, and you and I, we had some conversations before. We've got about 8 minutes left. We had conversations before, and I looked at you and I said, Owen, what do we do? Because right now you have a generation that's not necessarily, they're not interested in maybe leading. Do you see that there's not a true strong interest in leading?
I believe is a lot about judgment too, being judgmental too.
Okay.
It's a lot about being judgmental. Like the leaders, them they'll normally preach in a way to say well they judging you because all right, you ain't doing the things that you're supposed to be doing as Christians or you know what I mean? Even if you ain't in confessing Christ, you ain't doing all right, we above you all because of this or that. That's how they preach. Like sometimes like they being judgmental from Judge Jump Street. So like we was talking about like don't do what I say, do what I tell you. It
Yeah.
comes back to that too. Like you think that you could sit up there or whatever, you plenty at least plenty preachers do what I say. They sit up there and instead of just teaching you and trying to get you the way you need to be, they judging you because you ain't perfect. Nobody perfect. And then sometimes like I said, then you get the final like, but you ain't perfect neither. You doing this, you doing that. So for me it's like if I ain't gonna be straight into this or do the things I supposed to do with it, I ain't gonna bother with it anyway.
So
Until the time.
what does that do to the leadership in the community? What is it? How do you, because you said it earlier, you said if we don't get a hold to these people and they don't do the trade, they don't learn something, they don't, if we don't invest in them or if they don't invest in themselves and really think, like, how do we move forward?
Well, I say I try with younger generation, like especially my nephew and those. We used to force them. Man, my cousin used to force them to get out of bed.
Yeah.
We have solid jobs, and they had to be going. School is closed for a while. We forced them. They didn't understand what it was. I can share the story to end. They didn't understand what it was we was doing. And sometimes I used to get tired, edge. I used to get very edge. You already know we going to work tomorrow. I gotta come. I gotta wait on you to get ready. Do all of this. Take you to work. Then you gotta take so long to crank up, and then you know what I mean. And then it used to get me very. But I say I still can try and give you all this. At least you all gonna get a fighting chance. You know what I mean, like I said, it's hard to make it on next summer. You gotta be strong to make it on next summer. And for years, it reached a point that they grew up. They started doing. They grew in the trade. They start taking on their own jobs. They start hiring people. We still work together and things sometimes, but it grew to the point with me like inside I wasn't saying nothing to them. I was holding it in. I wasn't saying nothing to them. But it come to a point that I told them one day you're gonna have to come from under me, and you can go around other people. You ain't gonna be working for yourself, or you ain't gonna be working for me. You're gonna be working for people. The time will come and you're gonna have to do that. And the time came. This particular one, he ended up going off and he working, He texts me about 3 months into his job. He texts me, say, "Boy, uncle, that's the hardest drywall man on this key." So I text him back. I say, "Yeah, you come from good training." He said, "But I just going to say that." And I say, "Yeah, man, do well still." He say, "Boy, I just want to tell you thanks for teaching me the trade." You know what I mean? That do something to me. That made me feel like at least I made something, a
Yeah,
difference in
yeah.
somebody's life. And for the other guys who are already trained and they always show me they appreciate it. And as much as I could, every 3 to 4 years, I pick up another young boy coming out of school or still in school and try to even give him a chance. If he chooses to do it, he will do it. If he don't, then he don't. But he get a chance. And plenty of people ain't doing that.
So you would say that it takes time to invest in these kids. It takes time.
It ain't just gonna happen overnight. It ain't just gonna happen overnight.
And you got to pull them out of bed sometimes, and you got to hold their hand because they don't have what they need at home.
No. Like when me and Marcus was growing up, like I say, we was our grandfather. Take clean, don't meet young man in bed. That's something we learned. Take clean, don't meet young man in bed. So you see that dawn and crack? That's it. That's it. Ain't no more sleeping. You better wait till the dark fall to sleep again. Tell you.
I love hearing these stories. This is amazing. Marcus talks about it. He's horror stories.
Right now today, even if I just wake up and go back to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
I be up before sunrise. That's what
Yeah.
let me no matter what time I go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Owen, it's been great, man. It has. This has been a great conversation. I'm going to have you on again because we didn't even scratch the surface.
I get a little uncomfortable now, a little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. So we got about 2 minutes. I'm going to close out real quick.
Okay.
Owen, thank you so much for being with us. It's been an amazing opportunity to talk to you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah. So, guys, it is Thriving Thursday. And as I mentioned to you before, if there's conflict, if you're dealing with situations with people and there's confrontation or some kind of difference between you two, lean in. I just wanted to give you just a brief snippet of a story. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and we had conflict for more than 10 years. I mean, it was tons of conflict. And we tried to fix it, but we kept fighting and kept yelling at each other and kept trying to hurt each other and things of that nature. But you know what? One day, both of us grew up 10 years later. And we sat down and had a conversation. And that conversation changed the course of our friendship. We're really close friends now. All of the history is forgotten. But we decided to lean in. We decided not just to survive in this friendship, but we decided to thrive. So if I can do it, I know you can too. Until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.